Great. Welcome everyone to the July 11th, 2023 Tumwater City Council work session. We have, I believe, everyone here. Councilmember Althauser is excused this evening, so he will not be joining us. And then I believe that Councilmember Kathy will be joining us shortly, because I believe she planned on attending. So with that, we only have an action item tonight. And again, we are doing action items because our council meeting schedule is off a little bit due to the 4th and other things. So we will be doing we'll be doing an action item this evening. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lisa Parks and Karen Kirkpatrick.
Good evening, council members. Thank you for your attention, and I assure you that I've heard loud and clear that we don't typically do action items on work sessions, and appreciate your consideration of this one tonight. It's a little bit time sensitive. I feel like, are you able to hear me?
I am.
All of the council members appear frozen to me.
Yeah, it's kind of coming in and out. I think both Lisa and I are doing from City Hall. I think our connection is a little weak this evening. So, okay.
Well, I'm going to go forward with this, and hopefully everybody is able to actually hear the presentation. So as the council is aware, nationally, there have been a couple of different settlements with manufacturers and distributors of opioids. And those settlements, there was a One Washington MOU that was allowed for jurisdictions that weren't involved in the litigation to actually have benefit of realizing some of those funds and utilizing some of those funds from the settlements. It requires that there is what is called an opioid abatement council that's set up, and it identifies specific regions in the Washington state. The city of Tumwater is included in the Cascade Pacific Action Alliance region. That actually includes 7 different counties. And the decision has been made amongst those jurisdictions that there would be a secondary opioid abatement council for each individual county. So the action item tonight are 2 interlocal agreements that would delegate those different opioid abatement councils per the One Washington agreement requirements. And I'm happy to answer any questions. And Karen is here to back me up if I can't get it right. Are there any questions? Or Karen, did I miss anything that you wanted to add to?
I think I see Councilmember Swarthout's hand is up.
Okay.
Okay, I had a few questions. Understanding that we already have an opioid, Thurston County already has an opioid task force. How does this differ from the one that we've had in place now for several years?
So I'll take that if you don't mind. So basically this was these OACs have one purpose, which is to make sure that the funds are used appropriately and field complaints if someone feels that that's not happening. The intention is that they would only meet once per year to review the use of those funds. And they don't have any other function other than they were required by the One Washington settlement agreement. And I think had that not been a requirement, we probably would have looked at other ways of doing this or having, something that was already in place. But we also were given a deadline of June 30th to have these in place. Our second distribution is coming any day. So I think it just was a matter of expediency. But really, they won't replace any of the functions of the current task force.
Okay. And then also too, then I noticed that there's, when you go into, I think it's the MOU, that talks about one representative to serve on so each city has to provide a representative to this body. Is that correct?
That's correct. There'll be 4 members, one from each city and then the county.
So we'll be adding one more committee assignment to the list of assignments, but this one will only be, no, I know, but this will only be meeting once a year. I just, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
wanted to
it
clarify.
was one of the first conversations we had about this was how do we make it so the electeds don't have another committee that they have to attend? And then when it all came back down to an agreement we had to sign, this is where we ended. So I apologize for
Okay.
that.
Oh, no
but
worries. I just was, yeah, clarification is like,
It's,
oh, wow.
it's hopefully one meeting a year.
And then what kind of funding did Tumwater receive? If we're on our second one, what kind of, I see that .2, what is that? What does that factor to be?
So what this equates to, and Troy can probably speak specifically since we did receive one distribution already, which was approximately $22,000. And over the next 15, so in our second distribution comes, as I said, any day is expected to be a similar amount. And then over the next 15 years, it ranges between approximately 21,000 and 30,000. The years are a little bit different because the settlements are structured a little bit differently and legal fees and things are taken out at different times and different percentages.
Right.
But it's roughly in the 21 to 30,000 per year range. And Troy can jump in if he wants.
And do we share this with, or is this our own funding then? Or is this going to go to the group,
No,
the council?
That's the amount that comes straight to Tumwater. Yes.
Wow. And I'm sure there's some requirements, some strings there as far as how we can spend it. Yeah.
There are quite a few allowed uses though. I think one of the hopes is that the county and the 3 cities will work together to put the money to use, but that's not required. What is required is that we use it in some sort of opioid response, whether that's education or treatment or even law enforcement. It could be housing, but it's really up to the city of Tumwater to spend that $22,000.
Interesting. Huh. Sounds like a topic for the Public Health and Safety Committee. And I will go mute now.
Any other questions or comments? Councilmember Doha?
Yeah, I was just, along with Eileen is like, do you have any thoughts about who you are going to assign? Obviously, I've been serving on Thurston County Opioid Response Task Force since the beginning, so I'd love to continue that work. But I'm wondering if you have a timeline for when you're going to assign somebody.
Karen, do you know what my timeline is to assign someone?
There's no timeline for that designated, but we are supposed to have these organizations in place by 2 weeks ago. So the sooner the better.
So I have a feeling we'll have arm wrestling for this assignment, right? So more than likely, Councilman Doha.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other?
I wanted to do it, Leanna.
Feel free, Joan.
For the public who doesn't know, there's so many council assignments that it's there's I don't know what, we have 12 plus different assignments for council members, so a lot of work. All right, any other questions? So I believe we have to take action on this. So does somebody want to make a motion? Councilmember Doha?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Move to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the regional agreement of the Cascade Pacific Action Alliance region participating local agreements and the interlocal agreement for the opioid abatement council independent subcommittee. in substantially similar form as approved by the city attorney.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Dollhouse, seconded by Councilmember Swarthout. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, with that, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. All right, the motion carries. Now, do we have to do that in two separate items, or is that just one?
I asked the same question of Karen and she said that she had it structured so that the one motion was adequate. So I think we're good.
All right. So this may be a record short meeting, so. All right. So with that, we're now to Mayor City Administrator report, and I will let City Administrator Parks go first.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to first commend the city of Tumwater, particularly the staff, for the great Independence Day celebration. That was my first experience with that here in the community. You know, a parade, a festival, fireworks show, fabulous fireworks show, all in one day. I think it was well planned. It was very organized and very well executed in terms of everybody kind of doing, pulling their weight and doing their duty. Everyone that I met and saw, particularly from the Tumwater staff, were really enthusiastic and positive. Everyone has had great things to say about the 4th of July. We had a couple of positive emails from food vendors, for example, commending our park staff for how well things were executed. And I have to say the thing that I was most excited about was really the teamwork that I observed across the organization. So Parks and Rec staff did a huge amount of work, as did the police officers and the fire department, obviously. 600 gallons in 30 seconds on a hillside on fire that resulted in a collective cheer from the 10,000 or so people that were watching them do it was pretty spectacular. So kudos to everybody all around. It was really exciting to see and feel the camaraderie from everybody. And then the last thing, another piece of good news that Troy helped me identify. So a few months ago, the council approved a grant agreement with Department of Commerce for the Connecting Housing to Infrastructure Program grant. That was a federal grant that was awarded jointly to the city and Habitat for Humanity for the Talichin Homes project in Tumwater. And so Habitat had completed the infrastructure work for water, sewer, and stormwater and submitted an invoice to the city. And last Friday the 30th, actually, the city sent a check for the full amount of $726,000, 984. So Habitat was very happy that we had that quick turnaround, and they appreciated we're quick to say that they appreciated all the work from city staff over the past several months to make it happen. So again, kudos to the great work of the city of Tumwater. And that's all I had tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. And my list got whittled away this afternoon, so I don't really have anything extra to report other than my calendar has been very, very busy, as I'm sure everyone else's has. And with that, I just want to say thank you to everyone. And I do believe this is a record short meeting. Amazing. So
I'd like to wish Charlie a happy vacation to Iceland. And I'd like to see a picture of it.
yeah, he'll have to bring videos and
Something. I want to see that country.
all right. So with no other business, we are adjourned for this evening. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great evening.